Good afternoon, friends from around the world. I am overjoyed today for this fantastic show, for this fantastic day of life. Today, I'm coming to you direct from Costa Rica. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. The birds are squeaking. The toads are croaking, as you might hear in the stream. And today, we are interviewing an extraordinary young man, a man who I have a lot of personal admiration for in the short time that I've known him, because he sings a cappella and he sings songs about being kind, about following your heart, about making the world a better place. So he's an artistic activist, I would say. And he's got a really authentic vibe about him. And he's just seems so happy and full of good vibes that it's clear that his life is on the fast track to amazing glory and success. So I'm so honored to have him today. Before we bring him onto the show, good morning, Samantha, or good afternoon, rather. She's excited. I am too. Samantha, thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, let us know if you're watching and where you're tuning in from. It's fascinating to see where this broadcast is reaching. So before I bring on our esteemed guest, I would like to tell you a bit about Karma Tribe. Karma Tribe is a global network of people willing to help each other for free. And it works through our website, karmatribe.com, where you can make a profile and then offer and request free services. So if you have a gift that you want to share to the world, this is a great platform to do it. And if you need help with something, this is a place where you can find help for free. And heck, if you're just kind of bored, you can check it out and you'll see all these different things offered and requested. Something might jump out at you and you might realize that, wow, this person, for example, this person in Colombia who's really wants to learn English so they can get a job, maybe you could spend half an hour teaching them English every week, and from that get a friendship, get satisfaction, get good karma. And then when you need something like maybe help with your website or help with graphic design, you can easily find it on Karma Tribe too. So it's to connect people according to their talents, according to their interests, for a more collaborative world. And this month, we happen to be crowdfunding. Evidently, I forgot to add the little frame to the stream, but if you're interested in checking out our campaign, I will type it in here in the quickest. Rufus, get down, please. Thank you. I will type it in very quickly. It's karmatribe.com/I believe. And this is for those of you who believe in the power of kindness, who believe that communities can create change. So check out our campaign. If you have the means, we would love a small donation because Karma Tribe is already in 56 countries. There's already lots of buzz happening with it. It's helping people. But up until now, it's been essentially self-funded by me. And I'm just asking the community for help to bring it to the next level. So if you can, I would appreciate it. If not, it's all good. Without any further ado, I would like to bring on the man of the hour, Mr. Nicolas Azlon. Hello, Nicolas.
Hola, how's it going?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Good,
How
good.
are you?
Good, yeah, doing awesome. Glad to be talking with you today. Thank you for having me on.
Our pleasure. So, Nicolas, could you please, for someone that hasn't heard anything about you, could you please tell us a little bit your story?
Sure, yeah. My name is Nicolas Azlon, and I'm from Austin, Texas. I grew up in Austin, Texas since I was around 3 years old. And I love making music. I've always loved people very much. So it's important to me to, to help people be happy, to do things to help people be happy. I don't like seeing people suffer. I like it when people are happy. So that's always been in me since I was very little. And then growing up, I've always created music. I've been in bands my whole life, and I still produce music today. I love writing. I love poetry. I love live performance. I was in theater arts for a long time, and so I love creative performance, and I love using that to make a positive impact, so that we can alleviate a lot of the suffering and a lot of the unnecessary suffering and a lot of the challenges that we see in the world. It's like, I feel like my main gift is my creativity and my creative art, and I want to use that to help make a positive impact in the world.
Oh, Nicolas, wow, that's really beautiful. And it's not every day that I meet someone who actually dedicates themselves, with their primary energy to what their gift is. And also, like, the fact that you're on a mission, not for yourself, but for the world, by doing something that you love. I think that's super, you're a super inspiring example all around. And
thanks,
Nicolas,
David.
I would like to ask you, would you be willing to do a little song for us to start off the show, to raise the vibes?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for saying that. This acapella is called Save the Earth, and I hope everyone enjoys it. And before I do it, I just want to reply to something that you said, which is about, doing things for others. I just want to note that it's so, like, it feels so much better to give somebody something that's meaningful and that improves their life in some way. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, it feels better to give than it feels to get. So for me, it's a very natural thing to want to make a positive impact, to want to give something beautiful to the world that helps people. So that's definitely what I'm working to do. And then what better way to do that than with our natural affinities or our natural proclivities, the things that we love to do. It's like that energy and that enthusiasm will be transferred. And, if I can give that, I'm stoked too. So this one is called Save the Earth, and I hope everyone enjoys it. I see all around me dying, all around me frying. I'm just trying to enlighten, cast a flow like Poseidon. Use the flow to enliven, build up. Get our people aspiring, build up. New paradigm arising, build up. New paradigm arising, build up. We can see the shift happening, changing, bringing more space for laughing, embracing, kicking back this mass degradation, connecting today with the facts of the ancients, making a way for the path to creation, taking a stand, bringing a mass illumination, taking a look at the one who gave us birth. We get together and save the earth. Because it can live without us, but not the inverse. We need the water, the sky, and the rich dirt. So whether lamping in a mansion or a big yurt, you go to Gaia for materials to build first. And though today what pervades is an ill hurt, if we want more, we gotta roar until our will's heard. Taking action full of passion till the chains burst. We get together and save the earth. Because we're the ones who can move to make a difference, using our affinities to lift away the sickness. Everyone will know it when we get there and the bliss hits, elevate communities and rectify our business. Manifest your wishes. Make a world for your children's children. Shake the curse, disperse this grave hurt. Get together and save the earth.
Wow. Wow, my friend. That was really amazing.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Highly
enjoyed it,
but also highly inspiring and touching, and I felt my hair standing up and wow.
Glad to hear it. Thank you, man. Thank you.
It looks like Kiera agrees with you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Kiera. Glad you enjoyed it.
Gabriel, wow.
Hey. Glad everyone's enjoying. Glad you guys are enjoying. Thank you, guys.
Wow. So
Love.
So that was amazing. So it seems like in your songs there's a lot more than just pleasant rhythms and something like something that's satisfying to the ear. There's a deep, it's almost like you're tapping into a really deep dimension of yourself when you're singing.
Definitely.
Can you tell us a bit about your process for writing music and then delivering it in a really grounded, honest way?
Totally. So tapping into the authentic aspect of myself is super important for writing poetry or songs or acapellas or monologues or anything, you know, to take time to tap into that deeper aspect and contemplate and reflect and meditate upon what am I feeling, and how do I want to, like, how does that express itself, and with what I'm feeling and what I'm trying to express, where do I want to go also? So, you know, it's like I may feel like a point of tension about something like deforestation or global war or global poverty or these really serious issues that are facing us as a single humanity, you know, that are facing all of us, or something that's facing me in my life, whether I'm going through something in my personal relationships, or if I'm, you know, working to change my position in my life. So there are any number of either like points of tension that's on one side, or points of like bliss and inspiration and appreciation and gratitude that's on another side. And just kind of, you know, reflecting on those things and kind of like using my intuition to think, okay, well, this is a way that I can express that, and this is a way that I can kind of like take that challenge and turn it into something empowering. And that's most of the time, that's my intention with my art, is to look at challenges and do my best to transform them into something that that is empowering to me and therefore empowering to others as well. Yeah, and it's one of my favorite things to do, to sit down and write, because just being in that creative space is a very fun place for me to be. I like it.
Wow. So many interesting things in what you said. So it's funny, like you find inspiration from the highs and lows of life.
Definitely.
And you turn challenges into teachings.
Definitely.
So I'm curious, you know, don't want to get too personal and make you uncomfortable, but like you now strike me as like a very happy guy.
Generally so. Things are pretty good. but yeah.
And I have a theory that that like one is not just born like a happy person. It's like it's through like learning from different challenges and stuff that you then like grow into like a mature, wise, happy person. So did you face any challenges in your life that ended up really forming you as like a more mature and wise person?
Yeah. I feel like one of the biggest challenges in my life, and I you know, agree with everything you said, and you know, it's definitely like ups and downs, ebbs and flows, trying to like focus on what I appreciate and not what I expect, that kind of stuff in general. But I think one of the things that happened early on in my life that I definitely still don't have like, you know, 100% grasp on, but it's something that I work through and, you know, contemplate and feel out and seek healing for regularly, is probably like my and everyone has trauma, right? So we all have traumatic experiences in our life. And my core one was probably losing my mom when I was 3. So, you know, little kid, and my mom passed away due to, I think, breast cancer that spread. And so, you know, like I have a memory of, at least I think is a memory. It's either a memory or a dream or like a created memory. You know, it's hard to say when you're 3 what you actually remember and what you may be imagining. But I have this one experience that I feel is a memory of when I was like at her funeral, and I remember her like laying down like in the coffin or whatever, and I remember like touching her, and this thought going through my mind, like not being able to understand what do you mean she's not coming back, like that phrase. And it's just like a really like deep and intense pain and trauma, you know, related to that whole association. So working through that, well, you know, working to consider not only things like health and well-being and how to prevent cancer. And I don't want anyone to ever have to deal with cancer or losing a payment or losing a parent. You know, this is me experiencing that made me not want anyone else to have to suffer in that way ever. There's that aspect of it. And then also, you know, just considering things like what is life and what, you know, what happens after death, and these kind of like larger questions as well that I personally feel have been very empowering to me, because I still feel a strong, like today, I still feel a strong connection to my mom, and she's in my DNA, and we have some type of connection that's still with me, even though our physical relationship has shifted. So, you know, contemplating and working to process that and heal that inside myself over time, I think it has been very empowering to me, and, you know, helps me want to decrease the amount of suffering for other people in the world, and, you know, just help where I can.
Wow, dude, that's tragic, but I'm really happy to see that that it has had some good things come out of it, and
sure.
that you're healing through it and just becoming such an inspiring guy. So
thanks.
So thanks for sharing that. Like, the fact is that everyone goes through different traumas, and some people are abused, some people are abandoned, some people, you know, all different things happen. But having the bravery to share it and to be like honest with yourself and honest with others and just share like what you went through, I think that can really touch the hearts of people.
Definitely. And have you ever seen the podcast Reset Me by chance? It's with Amber Lyon. It's amazing. If anyone has ever seen the podcast Reset.me, it's really great, and it's on YouTube and all over. But one of the things that they talk about is what you're saying, how everyone holds core traumas, and how most in our society, most people never have a chance to process that, or to have catharsis, or to release that, or to have any kind of transformation around that trauma that they're holding. And one of the angles that they explore is how powerful and how amazing different plant medicines can be for processing that trauma with guided practitioners and with the right mindset and physical setting. How there are technologies in the world that can help us to heal and open up and unpack and release this trauma in really amazing ways that our conventional society has little or no awareness of at the moment. But it is possible, is the thing, and it's possible to heal and to grow beyond that, so that trauma that's underlying doesn't have to drive us for our whole lives. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely. And I agree that it's just not commonplace to hear about different ways to deal with that stuff. It's like a taboo topic overall. I mean, media is usually just about like consumption, or, you know, reaching certain, like, I don't know, external
material goals. Yeah.
So I want to just point out that our viewers are sending a lot of love, evidently like really touched by your story, and
much love back to them.
Thanks for watching, guys. I really want to share a technique that I learned.
Yes.
And it's actually a really ancient technique, an ancient Sufi technique. So it's like thousands of years old. And
cool.
Hopefully I don't like explain it wrong, but I think it's called Sobe. And basically what you do is you get together with a small group of people, and you take turns. And so the first person spends 5 minutes just describing everything that they physically feel. Like, you know, I physically feel, with their eyes closed, I physically feel a slight tightness right here. I feel some slight, you know, electricity in my back. I feel you know, kind of bubble over here. So you just try to like get totally in touch with how you're physically feeling for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Each person does that. And then in the second round, you take turns saying, we feel a tightness right here. And then the next person goes, we feel a dry throat. We feel a pain down here. And you do that for 10 minutes, everyone taking turns saying what we feel. And so several things happen is that, first of all, everyone ends up being totally connected and feeling the exact same stuff, which is absolutely amazing. And this, but the deeper thing is that basically, even without actually sharing like the trauma that you carry with you, you end up like tapping into like this trauma, because I think every trauma has like a physiological kind of like consequence on you.
Yeah.
So you really like actually like shine a light on these uncomfortable feelings that are within your stomach or within your heart or within yourself that you're never usually like being aware of.
Totally.
It's like, and so like I've done this, I don't know, like 5 times, like, and I'd say like 3 out of the 5 times, like someone started like bawling, crying.
Totally.
Because they like uncovered this like deep like pain of something that they'd been suppressing within their physical body for so long, which was actually like a trauma that they've been suppressing. And by like shining a light on it, it allowed them to heal.
That's amazing.
And so isn't it fascinating, like the physical link between what's happening to our body and what our mind holds?
100%. I really like this idea. I don't know if you follow Preston Smiles. He's like awesome speaker and thought leader and super cool guy. Preston Smiles and Alexi Panos are a like husband and wife, and they just do amazing art that's, I think, helping empower people. And one of the ideas that they talk about is how the body is like a physiological library of all of our past experiences and our subconscious, and like you're saying, we hold our trauma physically in our bodies, and being able to open that up and, like you're saying, either send light there or send attention there or endorphins or, you know, whatever it is that's going on all different levels. Being aware that our body holds trauma and that we can release that and further empower ourselves by doing that is super amazing. And understanding that link between our bodies and our minds and our emotions and stuff is super empowering.
Yeah, absolutely. May I ask you, do you have any kind of rituals or methods that you use to on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, like have a healthy relationship with yourself?
For sure. Yeah. I love meditation. I've loved meditating for a while. And that, like, to me, that feels like one of the best things that I can do in my life to make any day better. It's like there's so much going on inside during meditation, and to take time and to use the tool of meditation to empower ourselves is like my freaking jam. And then other than that, I like to exercise regularly and do my best to eat healthy food and spend time with the people I love, to make music regularly and to write and produce, because that's something that I love so much, connecting with that creative energy. And yeah, you know, just working to empower myself in general and in all areas of my life. So working to really take seriously, you know, like happiness, health, and wealth, and use those as pillars so that I can empower myself and make a positive impact in the larger scheme. But as far as daily habits, just like, meditation, exercise, healthy food, communication, creativity, that kind of stuff. And tea. I love tea.
That's great. Have you had a mate?
Mate, a little bit. I haven't had much. I need to try some more.
Yeah, it's my vice or fuel. So Nicholas, we have a comment here.
Yes.
From Samantha. She wants to know about food forests.
We're talking about, yes, absolutely.
What is your involvement with food forests?
Yeah. So I work with in Austin, Texas, a group called the Festival Beach Food Forest. If anyone is curious about them, they should check them out on Facebook. You can just look up Festival Beach Food Forest. And this food forest is based on permaculture principles. So it's sustainable design. It's looking at nature and it's seeing the patterns that nature uses to thrive and to create these abundant and naturally thriving systems. And then it's applying those principles to our design of the world that we create as humans so that we can live more in harmony with nature and so that we're not constantly destroying the planet the way that we are now. So it's a shift in thinking, and it's a shift in the way that we design our world so that we're more in harmony with nature. And the Festival Beach Food Forest is putting those principles into practice, and they've created this beautiful community space in Austin, Texas, where people can come. And it's about two and a half years old at this point, and so it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see all of these different types of fruit trees and nut trees and grapes and vines and all kinds of cover crops and all kinds of edible food. So there's lots of food that you can just pick and eat. And then it's also just like a very beautiful and nourishing environment to be in that kind of green space. And it's a cool public space. And the principle of permaculture, I think, is super important for considering how we design on a larger scale. So it's like the Festival Beach Food Forest is a little microcosm of some of these principles and some of these sustainability ideas being put into practice that hopefully we can begin to see on a larger scale and begin considering how we design our cities and our countries and all the places that we live in a more harmonious way.
Wow, yeah, I agree completely with what you said, and it's amazing to hear that you work with them. In the beginning of the show, we talked about how helping others is so enriching, and I just thought that like nature is a prime example of like generosity. Like
that's awesome.
If you're in a place, of course there's like you're poisoning a snake once in a while, but you get shade under the tree and you pick the fruit and it's a visual delight and it's the air that you breathe. So what is more generous than a food forest?
Right.
There's nothing more generous than that. And so it's really, it's like such an important role to be like planting forests, and especially like of fruit trees.
Definitely. And I think those spaces serve as kind of like nexus points where community can gather who's interested in making a positive impact. One of the things that I noticed early on is that most of the people that I met who had some awareness of permaculture were also aware of the larger challenges that we face as a globe. And so it's a place where people can gather and come together to talk about, well, hey, how can we work together to make a positive impact on a larger scale as well. And I think that's a really cool thing that those kind of tend to go together.
So do you have any thoughts on what a person can do without having studied permaculture, but what is something a person can do to start designing their community into a better way, or even their own house or piece of land?
Sure. Obviously, I'm mainly an artist, so I'm not like trying to give like health advice, or like I don't work in government or anything like that. So disclaimer. But at the same time, I feel like health and happiness and empowerment starts with the individual, right? So one of the most important things we can do is do our own inner work. If you feel what I'm saying, do work on ourselves. So things like meditation, exercise, healthy eating, healthy living, journaling, reflecting, becoming more aware of who we are and what our unconscious patterns are, and are we living personally the life that is kind of like in line with our higher vision of ourselves, or what we would ideally like to do, so maybe it's 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day in the morning of meditation and journaling, contemplating the question, I saw Mark Angelo Coppola on your channel a few days ago, and he mentioned the question, which I think Alan Watts also mentioned, which is, what would you do if money were no object? Or if money were no object, what would you do? How would you really like to live? What really is your bliss? What really gets you excited? When are times in your life that you've been in love in a big sense, and energized and excited? And what is it that you really want to do? And then to start designing your life oriented in that direction. I think that's super powerful. Because I think that there are a lot of things that connect us naturally, things like empathy and compassion and giving and connection and love and growth and meaningful contribution. And I feel like these are natural parts of our nature. So that self-reflection and that process of uncovering these layers within us of what's really important to me and what gifts do I have that I can give to the world. These types of questions and these types of reflections, I think, are some of the best ways that we can begin to improve our community. Because if we don't do those things, then we're carrying around that unconscious trauma. We're carrying around all of these blind spots that we haven't illuminated within ourselves. And so when we interact with others, those things are going to prevent us from really connecting in a deep way. Like if I'm deeply insecure in myself, there's no way I can connect with you authentically. You feel what I'm saying? So doing my own inner work to open some of those things up and soften a little bit more, and to connect, to heal my own trauma and to connect more with my love, so that when I communicate with you, I can bring that to you. I feel like that's, super important. And then you naturally attract to yourself people who are working to be the best they can be and to give their gifts to the world. And I think when people come together who are of that same paradigm, then that can be really powerful for the community and the world at large.
Well, Nicholas, I literally could not agree any more than I do now. I want to shout out to our viewers who are tuning in from around the world. Aguante se mate, vamos fela. Jess agrees that a better world is curated first within ourselves. Right. Totally. Thanks for sharing. It's like, can you really treat someone well if you're not happy yourself? Like, it's very difficult, and if you do, you'll burn out quickly. Whereas if someone is doing what they enjoy and truly happy, then they're gonna want to help others. They're gonna want to
definitely.
When you're in that place, like it's just like a bliss to go out of your way to help others and plant trees and like, so it's kind of ironic actually, because by focusing on your own inner work, it's almost like the most unselfish thing that you can possibly do.
Definitely. And on that tip, there's something called coherence as well, right? So it's when I'm not sure if you're familiar with Heart Math Institute, but they study the heart and the electromagnetic field that the heart produces, and also how it relates to the brain. You can have like an EEG and an EKG, and you can see how the electrical signals of the heart and brain are relating. And what they found is that through a really simple meditation process that people can do regularly, where you're basically breathing into your heart, focusing on what you're grateful for, and connect and kind of cultivating that state. When we're in that state, we have a much better way of connecting with other people and of creating a more positive space around us. So if we're not coherent, if we're not doing the work to hold that within ourselves, then it'll be a lot harder to help other people. And then also if we are, and if we're naturally in coherence ourselves, and if we're in a good state of mind, body, and spirit ourselves, then that naturally helps other people. Just holding that energy is healing to those around us. So if we can take the responsibility to do that work and grow our own light like that, even if we're not thinking like, oh, okay, now I have to go help everyone around, it's a natural kind of osmosis that takes place, I think, where, you know, it just helps, yeah, to hold that energy.
Yeah, I completely agree. So another thing that you touched on was like, what do you really want? Because I think a lot of people have I don't know if it's a problem, but they just have like so many different ideas bouncing around within themselves that it's hard to like manifest, you know, a specific vision for the future if you're not like kind of clear within yourself of like what you're going after.
Sure.
And although of course like the journey is the main thing that you have to enjoy, but I'm curious, like, Nicolas, for yourself as an artist who's like ramping up his career, you know, you've released some albums. What is like the intention that you set for yourself for what you want the future to bring?
Sure. So thank you for asking. I think about this every day. And it's so basically the path that I'm looking at is, and this is like a linear way of laying it out, but of course things happen kind of in a more fluid, dynamic way. But basically, like gaining time and money freedom, right? So it's important to empower myself first. And so figuring out how to do that with all of these amazing tools that we have available to us today with online entrepreneurship and digital marketing and e-commerce. There are so many ways to gain time and money freedom in 2017, and that's freaking awesome. That's amazing. So, and what that will do is give me the resources to better gain musical mastery. So put 10,000 hours into producing music and producing the art that I want. So I have a sufficient level of mastery in that area. So time and money freedom, musical mastery. And then with that, I want to create the greatest possible impact that I can. So I have this idea of what I've called the Food Forest Concert Series. And so that's this idea of connecting with like minds all around the world and putting on concerts to create a positive impact and to leave a positive trace. And so I've had this vision for years, this idea that came to me. And I gradually started noticing other people who are in line with this vision and who are already doing this kind of stuff, which is amazing. It's so exciting to see. There are groups like the Polish ambassador with Action Days US, and they went on the Permaculture Action Tour a little while back, and at every headlining show, they did some type of permaculture action in the community that they went to. And when I saw that, I was like, I thought I was the only one with this idea. It's so exciting to see them already doing this. You feel what I'm saying? So that's very much what I want to do. And it's about it's about creating a positive impact in that right now there are, you know, hundreds of millions of people who don't have just the basics, you know, food, clothes, shelter, medical care, and transportation. So if we can get humanity up to that 0 point, up to where at least those necessities are covered for all of us, which from a technical standpoint, from a resource standpoint, from a scientific standpoint, is 100% possible. We just need the culture to shift in support of that, and then society will change as we gradually realize this. But to get to help global sustainability happen, it really resonates with me, and that I think that would be really beautiful. And then from there to just go into greater levels of harmony and greater abundance and greater creativity. Like if you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we can go up to greater interpersonal relationships and greater understanding and greater knowledge and to these higher levels of creativity. But we should get to sustainability first. You feel what I'm saying? And that's something that we can definitely do as a humanity. We just have to unify our efforts and work in that direction.
Yeah, wow. I absolutely agree. And like there seems to be a little bit of a different way in which you explain it than most people, because you're saying like these are these issues that humanity is facing and we can fix it and we're going to fix it and I'm going to be involved in fixing it.
Yes.
And you're like actually taking
Let's do it
to like make things happen, Whereas other people, like many other people, are like, yeah, there's what a crazy world we live in. All these people starving in Africa, and they say it as if it's like, as if we're not like active participants in creating the world that we want, but we are.
Sure. Right.
And
right.
like you and I are like very young and vigorous and full of energy, and probably everyone watching, and like, let's actually do this. Let's start solving these problems. And
absolutely.
I'm really inspired by your whole attitude about this.
Thanks. Thank you so much. And again, I think that's something that starts from inside, right? So if you just look outside, then you see all of the negative information that passive media will show you. You feel what I'm saying? But if you start to go within, and if you start to meditate, and if you start to begin to visualize the world that you desire to create, then you grow in touch with that vision. You can feel it in your body, and then you can begin gradually attracting people that are on that wavelength, so you can build together. And so I think it goes back to that self-work and growing the vision from within and expressing that. There's this Earl Nightingale quote, I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and find the circumstances they desire, and if they can't find them, make them. And I feel like there's a lot of power in that. And all of us as human beings have that capacity to visualize and to create. There's the Napoleon Hill quote, anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So, if we are bold enough to point our collective vision towards sustainability and thriving and greater harmony, we can move in that direction. But it takes us taking the personal responsibility to shift our own mindset and heart set in that direction, and to start walking in that direction.
Wow, dude, you are so freaking wise. And it's amazing how you're also like, you're educating yourself from all these books and all these great thinkers and these podcasts, and doing the self-work and basically practicing what you preach. And I want to just call out some of these like beautiful comments that came in.
SPT.
My brother, you speak to my soul. Such an incredible way of putting it.
Love Katie.
Guys, feeling it here from Costa Rica. What an amazing interview. So humbling to see people years into walking this path.
Respect.
Well, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes, sir.
And, so we're pretty much out of time, Nicholas, but would you mind spitting a few more rhymes to just seal off this amazing interview?
I'd love it. Thank you for the opportunity, David.
Thank you very much. And guys, after the song, I'll close the stream. So thank everyone. Thank you so much for watching, for being here with us. It's been really an amazing time of connection with Nicholas, and also with the audience and everyone. So I'm blissing out hard, guys. So thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, David. And thanks so much to Karma Tribe. I really appreciate you guys for having me on. And I just want to say, if you like the poems and the poetry, I have a new a cappella EP. And if you go to my website, nicolasazlon.com, you can sign up to download it for free. So I hope you enjoy that. And this one is on that EP, and it's called Evolutionaries. So it goes, I'm seeking evolutionaries, those with future vision, those who grow the gold within and hold a truer wisdom, those who saw the lies in class and looked at them incredulous while seeking to build a brighter world that's beautiful and effortless. I've been thinking about a couple of folks who know their stuff so well. They could build an aquifer for you if you asked them for a well. If you asked them for a spell, they'd hand you Merlin's tome. If you asked to borrow a couple of bucks, they'd hand you bars of gold. The type who have a sight on worlds that still have yet to come, where we teach the youth to use the truth, indeed we all are one, where we have the time to work and play, but in reverse proportions to the current day confusion of these classist distortions. I'm seeking evolutionaries, those with future vision, those who grow the gold within and hold a truer wisdom, those who saw the lies in class and looked at them incredulous while seeking to build a brighter world that's beautiful and effortless. We see those folks here now. They can uplift our condition. All we need to do is unify all our volition. Gather round and organize, man, cultivate our visionaries, inspiring that type of passion that barriers find incendiary. We all hold a piece of the dream we call reality. Let us lucidly reshape it as we reshape our mentality. Getting our light workers to charge us like a laser beam, speaking sparks into our ears to energize and make the dream come into fruition, intuition, guiding processes to bring about these prophecies, even when we're lost at sea. Mockeries were made of maidens and men due to monopolies, but we're getting wise, and genocide will not do for my progeny. I got to see what I can build with these two hands, man. Bottom or top of the pyramid, we're all just humans, and I believe we hold that whole within us, similar to fractals. So let's delve within, bring it out, and watch this world unravel.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.